Are you ready for your first act?
Yeah!
I ask you please to be very, very welcoming, very encouraging to all our acts tonight, and please start right now. For our very first act of the night is Elle, Daniel, everyone!
Hi everyone, how are you doing? Heavy mic stand. So it's my first time here. Woo! My whoop is back. That's really exciting because I lost my voice for the last like 2 months because I've been I had a drinking too much. Yeah, been handling life really well lately. Dry January turned into torrential February, I'd call it, or maybe even monsoon February in the past weekend. Anyway, the material that you're about to hear only recently lost its virginity, like me. No, I'm kidding. I actually lost my virginity when I was 18. Yeah. So, in some other exciting news, I recently quit my job. Yes, that's right. I handed in my notice just last week. For the past nearly year, I've been working at a finance firm. Sexy job alert. Oh, yeah, okay. I've been working at a finance firm that was, you know, surprise, surprise, 99.9% dickheads. It was really time for me to go, you know, because I just didn't fit in with the kind of shiny corporate setting, you know. I'm kind of a messy girl, and you look so awkward, sir. Do you feel uncomfortable? I've got some good icebreakers, but I don't have time to tell them. They're a whole set of themselves. Anyway, but yeah, I didn't fit in with this whole setup. You know, I'm a bit messy, and I'm a really clumsy person, and far too clumsy actually to be around something as fragile as toxic masculinity. I was writing this bit actually at my desk just the other day. Can you tell? And I got up to go make myself a coffee, and when I returned to my desk, my boss was like looming over it, having a really good nosy in my notebook. And I was like, oopsies. But what's he gonna do, fire me? I mean, he does need to write me a reference, so that's important. He was a little bit creepy. Shout out if you've got a creepy boss. Shout out if you are a creepy boss. No, keep that to yourselves. Yeah, he would do this thing actually where whenever he'd like do the rounds in the office, he'd kind of slow down when he got to my desk, and he'd sort of run his finger along the edge of it, all the while maintaining like unwavering eye contact with me. And he'd be doing this kind of silly like faux macho walk. It looked like something he might have learned at How to Be an Alpha Male convention. So, I don't know if those exist, but I wouldn't be surprised. It's a shame, isn't it, when a job isn't quite right for you? But I always like to think as a silver lining, you know, you at least acquire a new skill set, you know, a transferable skill to take on with you to your next place of employment. I would say the skill I acquired working in this office, being invisible. It would appear that if you were in possession of a human vagina, that's what it says. Demonstration. Yeah, it would appear if you had one of those bad boys or girls, you were virtually undetectable. I remember one time I was in the office kitchen trying to make my lunch, and I was doing my dainty little lady chopping, and next to me one of my colleagues was just going nuts. He was like thrashing around, pulling drawers out from under me, chucking the cutlery in the air, spaffing his sriracha in every which direction, and eventually I just lost it, right, and I slammed shut the cupboard door, and it like made a really loud bang, and he was like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I said, "I'm breathing, Brian." Yeah, they were really special sort of bloke, don't know if bloke's the right word, in that office. I'm not particularly used to the company of women, but I wasn't the only female employee there. There was another woman who worked there, but unfortunately we never got to know each other because only one of us was allowed to speak at any given time, so we weren't ever able to actually hold a conversation. But it wasn't all bad. Working there, you know, I got a lot of compliments. And by compliments, I mean unsolicited comments about my appearance. Literally on the second day, I think it was, my boss just walked up to my desk and no sugarcoating, he just goes, Elle, you've got one of those resting bitch faces, haven't you? And I looked back at him and was like, and I said, Matthew, it's active, because a bitch never rests. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, if I ever was seen to have a resting or active bitch face, it's only because I had to put up with a daily dose of, well, actually, you know, a bit of mansplaining, or as I like to call it, correctile dysfunction. Another thing I got a fair amount of, smile more. You know, particularly Barry in accounts loved to tell me on an almost daily basis to smile for him. I think he thought he was being really kind of sweet and charming and not at all like a sex pest. We were literally sat there discussing my salary, and he literally was like, Elle, show me that lovely smile of yours. And I was like, oh, Barry, show me that pay rise. I think it'd be so great, actually, on the note of being asked to smile, if ladies, if in our list of handbag essentials, you know what, we've got our lip gloss and our hairbrush and our rape alarm, I think it would be so good if we also had blood capsules in there. Bear with me. You know when you're like walking down the street and you get like a geezer being like, come on love, it might never happen, give us a smile. If I just had one of these blood capsules just wedged in the roof of my mouth, so that when I did flash them a big smile, it would just be like, I think it'd be beautiful, romantic even. You know what really used to piss me off, and I'm sure any comedians in the room can maybe relate to this if you do a day job, you know when you're trying to write your material at your desk. My boss had like a sixth sense for when I was doing this. When I was actually doing work that he paid me to do, he left me alone. But as soon as I was trying to write, you know, some jokes and some material, he'd come like looming over, and I'd get really embarrassed, and I'd shut my notebook, and I'd be like, "You're fucking with my creative process." But yeah, he did it. He did it the other day actually, and by this point, I'd resigned to the fact that I was resigning, and he literally got right up in over my shoulder, and he's like, "What have we got here, Elle?" And I just kind of carried on. I said, "Well, Matthew, I'm actually rewriting 50 Shades of Grey." And he was like, "Oh, tell me more." And I said, "Well, this is actually the abridged version. It's called One Shade of Grey. And in this version, she says no thank you, and he respects that. And, well, that's the end, actually." Thank you, everyone. You've been